Duke Luca Abele tore down the original palace in Karnaca, where his father once pinned a medal to my chest. Over the ruins, the Duke built a structure that cost enough to feed everyone in Serkonos for years. A sprawling estate to humble all others, a monument to his ego. I owe it to the people of my homeland to make this right. In Dunwall, we were content to look the other way as long as the silver kept flowing. I've got to get inside the Grand Palace, deal with the Duke, and find a way to steal Delilah's soul.
This is my last night. Soon, I'll dissolve into the great nothing.
You deserve peace, my love.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will, very soon. Push out into the harsh world. You are alone, but for a few allies.
I can't believe it's taken this long for someone to go after the Duke. Another aristocratic boss, living in a palace and sucking the marrow out of the same people who... built it.
Yes. I regret my affiliation with the young Duke, but his father and I were close. It was my hope that Luca would eventually grow up and learn that his actions as ruler of Serkonos have very real consequences.
He could always count on the backing of Dunwall's finances. Maybe without that, he would have developed a healthy respect for the people of Serkonos. Fear of the executioner's block has been a fine motivator for many a ruler.
Once the Duke falls, it's my hope that we can build something better here. Something more representative and inclusive.
Going after the one who started it all. The Duke himself. I forgot the thrill of it. Planning drop-off points, picking the approach. Thinking about the best ways to kill somebody who lives behind high walls. But with the excitement, there's a black echo that comes back to me for what I did at Dunwall Tower. If anyone deserves killing, though, it's Duke Luca Abele. I've loved a number of women, and even a couple of men. But I've never loved anyone like my Deirdre. After I left home, those first years on the streets, she's all that kept me from the bottom of the river. I could sleep on a pile of garbage under a leaky awning as long as she was there with me. Sharing a tin of potted meat or a bottle of brandy. We nicked during the day. The Duke and his little brother came through Dunwall. And Deirdre and I got in their way as they stepped out of their fancy coach. The Duke goaded his brother, calling us wharf roaches. And it was the brother who swung the stick that killed her. Splitting her skull, there were wooden gazelles on top of the coach. And I snapped one off and drove it into his eye, as deep as it would go. Deirdre was already gone. Dead as a doornail. Lying in the muck, staring up at the gray Dunwall sky. On the run after that. I was hunted by the City Watch and even members of the Grand Guard up from Serkonos. People looked at me like I was cursed, spitting whenever I got close. Everyone knew I'd bring trouble. Even the gangs. The Duke's brother has been dead for a long time. But now was my chance to get back at Luca Abele for setting him off against pretty, young Deirdre. Nothing was the same for me after they took her away.
Are you ready for this?
I've broken into palaces before. They're made to keep out armies. Stopping a single man who's dedicated to his cause, that's another story altogether.
Getting inside might not be the hard part. The Duke doesn't exactly run a tight ship.
Taking down Duke Abele is only part of the puzzle. You've also got to find whatever it is he's keeping for Delilah.
You were cryptic about what you gleaned from visiting the Dust District, which is fine. The world is better with a hint of mystery. But once you're inside the Grand Palace, whatever you do could affect things in Karnaca for years to come. Remember that.
I've got a map of the Grand Palace for you, and I know something that may be useful. There's a hidden lever in the pantry that opens a passage to the Duke's vault. If he's keeping anything precious for Delilah, I suspect that's where it'll be. Beyond that, good hunting.
I'll see what I can do. I know things in Karnaca are fragile. Emily and I have a lot to think about after all this is done.
It's not widely known, but the Duke has a body double. The man is the spitting image of Luca. A likable fellow, and quite humble. I've no idea where they found him, but the Duke's double has spent years passing for the Duke. I suppose Luca always hoped his double would be there to take an assassin's bullet. Take care. I hope to see you again.
Aaron Stilton made a fortune in the silver mines, without the usual cruelty associated with such endeavors.
I hope I've been of some help to you. It's good to feel useful, here near the end of my time. Look at you. You've aged better than most, Royal Protector. I hear the Duke's wine cellar is exquisite, if you happen to pass through. I remember when you took me from Caldwin's Bridge so long ago.
Those around you cannot see me. I am here and not here when you call to me.
Should we head toward the palace?
Let's go.
At the palace, the Duke has a lookalike body double, meant to confuse assassins. A friend of mine washes the linens and said the double is a smoker, if that helps. Maybe you can talk to him. She says he's a nice guy. What a shitty job, pretending to be a tyrant like Duke Luca Abele.
Why don't they just overthrow him?
He's got an army, control of the mines, and he's had your support from the capital. At the Duke's parties, people carve up the country while eating boiled crab.
There were parties like that in Dunwall. Toadies sucking up to Emily made me want to be back on the streets in Serkonos.
You're forgetting what that's like. I watched those party lights from the roof of the abandoned butcher shop where I slept. In the flooded district.
I know you struggled. After years of court, I'm a nobody again. But what I've seen here will stay with me when I return to Dunwall Tower. Being in Karnaca again has given me perspective.
Good. After you've eliminated the Duke, find what he's holding for Delilah and take it. When you're finished, I'll pick you up in the skiff.
That's why they call it the black market. Can't just sit here. Too much chance a Grand Guard catches on to us, or maybe rightful owners coming to pick it up.
What's the delay getting it to the shop? Bet you afraid we'll get caught?
The guy that runs the shop is nervous. But if they just let us move it straight off the boat. Now, I got a friend over at the shop. Been running protection for black market shops for years here in Karnaca and over at Cholera. So there's basically no risk.
What's your plan?
That's a secret. These guys deal with me and nobody else. Job security.
Push out into the harsh world. You are alone, but for a few allies.
There's no such permit, Captain. I know the laws in Karnaca.
Laws change. The Duke's given the Grand Guard leeway to create new fees when needed. You know who else had a nice shop? That clockmaker.
Rafina, her shop burned down.
Yeah, pretty sure
Are
I
you
saw
all
some.
right?
So, let's see. What was it? It was coming from here. Let's see. I wonder what I'm dealing with.
Met a girl from Morley, our love ended poorly. I spied a lass from Bristol, 'twas good I had my pistol.
Oh,
Met a lady from Trivia.
See? I got no kids, no wife,
Outsider's
neither.
crooked cock!
There was a girl once, but she left.
Open up. I cut the code, but it's back on the pub.
No exceptions. Either you have the code, or I assume something's off. My boss's order.
You're back at the heart of your homeland. A bigger, better palace than the one you sailed away from so long ago. Feeling nostalgic? Will you ever be comfortable in Dunwall again? Assuming you make it back? You've seen the suffering here, the decay, but, dear Corvo, would you even have lifted a finger if the Duke hadn't put Emily in harm's way? Be honest now. In any case, I know what you're after. The heart you carry can only hold one spirit at a time. So, if you want to walk out with a piece of Delilah, you better be ready to leave something behind.
Face to face!
Welcome. I'm certain you will find what you require here. A deal well made. Very good. Don't trust anyone. That's my advice.
Oh shit! Tonight. Are you in?
Not this time.
Sam.
Just got the answer about my transfer inlet. Relocation denied.
Look on the bright side. The pay is better here than anywhere else, and we get to do the job how we see fit. Nobody's pestering us with forms and procedures anymore. We collect the fees we want, and give out the beating.
I can feel her presence.
The palace. Maybe I can find another way to neutralize the Duke.
Sure he always keeps the key with him?
I'm sure. We'll do it tomorrow night when there's only one squad scheduled for patrol. Just be ready.
assigned to protect the Duke's quarters tonight?
Nope. As long as it's not me, I don't care. It's never any fun.
I'm not sure who's worse, the Duke or his body double. One's half likely to have you flogged for looking at him wrong. The other might just bore you to death.
Definitely heard something. Better check.
Think you're being quiet?
Exactly. And think, when all this fighting over thrones is settled, the Duke's going to need men to take charge in the Northern Isles. By this time next year, you will be enjoying.
Never-ending paperwork. What's the point of being my father's son if I have to slave away like this?
She could be reading the letter right now. Thinking about me. Right now. They can rot in the void for all I care. I've got enough to worry about without their constant complaining. Huh.
Hey! What do I know of war?
This must be the key to the Duke's vault.
At least I'm working in a good
That's a
part of town.
jolly good idea.
What was the plan again? Did you say you could hit him in the head? Or that you could avoid hitting him?
No idea. Too drunk to remember. Anyway, he's not moving anymore, so maybe I killed him.
Or maybe he fainted. Let's bet something else. See if he wakes up when you hit him in the leg.
Sure, my man.
spoon. Let's see what Duke Abele keeps hidden away in here.
Playback for detection registered.
The Duke's vault.
This indicates the search protocol is underway.
This is it. You must release me from this dead vessel. Only then will you be able to trap Delilah's spirit.
Jessamine, your spirit comforts me. How can I let you go?
I've given you all I can, my love. Tried to guide you. Now our daughter will need you.
Be at peace, my dear Empress. Star of my sky.
Corvo. Your eyes, your hands, your heart. With my last thought, my love.
Then it's done. Now it's time to return to Mars.
The heart of my half-sister? Only her flesh remains.
Wonder if it was even really alive.
Jessamine is gone at last, faded into nothing. The reward is peace.
Some kind of decorative animal.
She gave you her heart, and you threw it into the void. I inhabit two impossible places at once. The prison of dead flesh, after a prison of bones. You will take me back and die at my hands.
The bay.
You won't see any whales this far south. They like the colder.
Let's ask the land agent to re-inspect the riverside drains.
No! Guards! No. Someone! What's going on here? A body? Here? Huh? What?
Till he puts on those boots, sees the surprise I left for him. Idiot.
underway.
So if I have 2 and I give him 1, I still got me 1. But then if I eat it, no, if he eats it, then what?
If the old Duke could only see this. Wasteful expense, wanton flesh.
And such terrible wines. At least he knew better than to serve Tyvian with hagfish.
Joke if you want to. Our new Duke spends more in 1 month than his father spent in a year. Old Theodatus Abele was tight with the coin.
Why worry? When the war is done, we'll have it back tenfold in tribute. This is the Serkonan age, my friend. The age of Luca Abele. Enjoy it.
The old Duke?
The old Duke was wise. Yes, the old Duke was careful, but the new Duke dragged the Empress off her throne and gave us the Isles. So tell me, who's the better man?
Of course, the Duke kept some of the clockwork soldiers for himself.
No offer to bow or kiss my hand.
I'm not that kind of visitor.
A mystery. Let's have it then. Who are you and what do you want?
You're the Duke's double, aren't you? I'm here to take him down, but I might need your help. Do you want to listen to what I have to say?
All right, you've figured it out. But if you're not here to assassinate the Duke, what do you want?
I have no doubt that you'd be a more agreeable Duke than Luca Abele. If I wanted to depose him without having to cut out his heart, could you convince people that you're the Duke?
That's bold, I have to admit it's crossed my mind. If people believed that I was actually Duke Abele, and that he was the political decoy, we could have him committed for lunacy. We could convince everyone that the Double's finally lost his mind, and believes he's the Duke. I've spent years perfecting my performance. But there's a catch. He's got a medallion that I need. Even if I sound convincing, which should be the easy part, his Grand Guard officers will ask to see the medallion as proof. Luca never puts it aside.
All right. It shouldn't take me long. Once it's done, I'll be leaving the city. Soon after, I'll send instructions from Dunwall, and I'll expect a great deal of flexibility and cooperation on your part. There's still time to pull Serkonos back from the edge of the cliff. We can undo the damage Duke Abele has inflicted.
I'd like that. But I'll guide Serkonos in the ways I see fit for the people here, not as the hand-chosen puppet of your empire. If you agree with that, Just render the Duke unconscious and bring him to his chambers. I'll handle the rest.
General detection state. Okay, the machine has detected something.
Confused by your most recent response. The Duke was, well, he was furious. He sent me to interview you about your progress.
One of the maids took me for a walk. A beautiful
just gone.
Shiny green shell.
I don't understand, Mr. Jindosh. Working with Anton Sokolov, were you successful at lowering the cost of Clockwork Soldier production? The Duke is expecting a reduction of 80 to 90% based on your own estimates.
She let me keep a few of them in a jar. I pulled off their legs.
That's interesting. Let me remind you, as Grand Inventor, you've been given everything you requested. But with that comes a responsibility for deadlines, an expectation of progress.
Wait, I remember the undertaking you're talking about now. Yes, yes.
Excellent. So what can I tell the Duke?
I had a visitor, I think. Or maybe they came for Sokolov. It's hard to recall the details. Anton wouldn't help, but I was close to finding a way to... The difference engine is inscribed in copper along the concave surface of the inner head mechanism. But wait. I can't. It slips away. The beetles we found today, I'm going to give them...
End of fleet phase. Combat protocol. It's an older male.
Wait for my signal!
Playback for combat protocols. Quarry back indicates lost enemy.
Shit, lost him.
Here's Duke Abele.
That's it then. Now it's up to me. I'll take the medallion and call them.
I'll be watching. Break a leg.
Don't worry. I've spent years mimicking this asshole. Captain Almeida, come at once to my chambers. There's a problem. Quick, hide up there. Yes, Captain. Please arrest this clown. Seems that he took his role a little too seriously. Get your hands off me! Work, man. He served me well for years. We'll never find anyone else who so bears my resemblance. Take him away, Captain, but be gentle.
I think I understand, Your Eminence. We'll handle it.
What? This is outrageous. I'll have you all skinned alive and set in a salt bath. If only there was something we could do for him. I suppose all those years pretending he was me, that eventually took its toll. No! Stop! I am the Duke of Serkonos! You can't do this!
Dr. Hypatia at Adamire will know what to do with the poor man.
I'm still trying to get my head around this. It's incredible. It'll be dicey for a while because I may be missing a few details. As quickly as I can, I'll turn over the palace guard. That will help cover me. Once you're off for Dunwall, I'll wait for your messages. I'll need all the help I can get turning this around.
That should do it.
I saw the signal. So, is that it? The fall of Karnaca?
The Duke's had a change of heart. Things are shifting.
Back to the dreadful whale, then, and on toward Dunwall.
It looks that way. To find a way to help Emily, and to give her back the throne.
Ready, then?
I'm ready if you are.
All right. As you want.